Welcome to another episode of Arkansas Basketball Recap, show that recaps every Arkansas basketball game. Today we're recapping the Arkansas Razorbacks 93-56 win over the Central Arkansas Bears. This is a weird one. These are the games that are hard to do because you would think if you win by 37 points and you score 93 points, what is there to say that isn't rave reviews of the thing? And that's in a lot of ways. It's like, yeah, did you do what you're supposed to do? Yeah, I mean, you beat UCA by 37. They scored 56 points. You scored 93. Like, yeah. Um, but in games like this, also, like, I understand why it's hard. Like, Arkansas knew they were going to win this game. Um, so I felt like the defense was just kind of like, you know, whatever. Like
Yeah.
like, and I know it's hard. And
Oh,
you're like, he
you
gave
think
up.
I'm not gonna, you think I can't find something to complain about with a 40-point win?
No, I know you can. But what I'm saying is, like, and you're like, hey man, they gave up 56 points. Like, that's fine. They UCA shot horribly. Like, so, I mean, what do you want them to do? And you're like, yeah, I know. It's more about, like, I don't know. Like, it's more about just the way it looked. Like it's about, like, the body language, and not that there's bad body language, but like the intensity that you come out with. The one big positive I think from this game, besides, like, doing what you're supposed to do, is that Carter Knox, at least, I felt like, took advantage of the opportunity to try to get right. And so that was good. And I felt like he came out super aggressive and was like, I gotta get right here, dude. Like, and I felt like he did that. So that was good.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you want to take something positive from this game, it's nice that they get to everybody. I mean, like you said, you could tell. I mean, they knew they were going to win that game, and everybody got to get some shots up and play. Basically play with their food a little bit and find their rhythm again. I do think it's probably. I'd way rather have this game as a buffer for Knox to kind of feel his stroke and dominate a little bit with his size and just get some confidence rather than just go straight into another game where he's got
Yeah.
crazy competition and he feels bad about the way he played. That being said, I mean, part of it is that there would be nothing wrong with this performance if the Hogs had went into Michigan State and beat them by 10, and in beating them been like, wow, we still, I mean, it was smooth. They were popping, they were boxing out. I mean, Michigan State, to hats off to them. They played really hard, but we're just better, and we're, just better team. But being that you lost, and like I said, we don't want to go over that again, but like you lost it wasn't that you lost against a team that you just couldn't handle their athletes, or they just got on a freaking heater and just, you couldn't, I mean, they just couldn't miss. You lost because of not paying attention to detail, being young, making foolish mistakes on defense, not boxing out properly. Like, you lost with some fundamental things. You took silly shots. You started to play hero ball. The offense didn't look crisp. It looked bogged down a lot. That makes this game, like I said, if they wanted to just go out there and not play hard, not get hurt, and beat a team by 40 and not have to put anything into it after you're like cruising and you don't have anything to build on. But in this game, what you would have liked to have seen is like, hey, this is an opportunity for us to basically, because they are, I mean, that team was so obviously inferior athletically. I mean, our guys could really bully them. That you would have liked to seen them be like, let's figure out how to run an offense,
Yeah.
like when it really matters, because we are struggling with ball movement and screens and you know what I mean, like and pick and rolls and stuff. We need to work on those fundamentals. And I would have rather won by 20 or 17 and had them like look like, wow, they're sharing the ball. And instead, the reason it does feel like a little bit like I didn't love it is because all those same problems were still there. And I mean, I think you saw that if you watched Cal's press conference. I think he felt the same way, which is they were at times playing hero ball. They were taking really like weird, like just selfish shots that you're like, I mean, I guess you can make that, but why? You can't get a better shot than a 19-foot with your heels on the free 3-point line jump shot with the guy in your face off of no passes. It's like it's. I mean, even if you make it, it's like yeah, sure, that's it. But
Dude,
like,
they shot 30. Well, how many shit, what was it? Look here. 34 threes in this game is what Arkansas shot. Now they did make 13 of them or whatever, but like they shot 34 threes. Part of that is because like so what they didn't do was they took what UCA gave them. What UCA did was like pack the middle because they knew they had inferior athletes. I think that's they, and so they said, "We don't think you're a great 3-point shooting team." Like that, we like it's sort of just like, what's the? How could we maybe win this game? Like, what if we like left them alone on the perimeter and they had a bad night? Then maybe we could hang around, right? And now Arkansas made 13 of them, and so, but they instead of doing what you're saying, which is like, hey, they're going to pack in the middle, but we're going to run this offense anyway, even though 3-point looks are going to be easy to come by because of the way that UCA is playing defense. It's sort of like you accepted that, like, all right, fine, we'll shoot 3-pointers. Now, I get it. Like, it's hard not to like be like, all right, well, I guess I'll shoot this if you're just going to be insulting and leave me out here by myself. But yeah, you kind of wish you'd be like, hey, maybe let's still like try to like get the ball in the paint and stuff, even though that the entire focus of their defense is to not let you do that.
and
Um,
it's just that it's like I don't really have a problem with like I mean I didn't have a problem with any of Knox's 3-pointers and stuff. I mean obviously he's on a heater and he you
yeah,
know he was mostly open, but it was more the other things like it was there was a several times where and I mean and these are things that I mean obviously you can be coached out of, but like they drive in and there'd literally be three guys on them, and then they'd still try to make like be like make and it's like yeah I know Acuff and I know Billy are capable. They're like I can make this. It's like it's a really difficult layup, and sometimes they do make it. But then there was like one particular one where Billy drove in, made a good move, literally drew three guys, and then attempted some really hard almost made it. I mean, it rattled out because it was a super hard English type of spin that he had to put on it by the time because there was
yeah,
guys everywhere. And Acuff is just standing in the short corner. And I mean, he's even standing on the ball side where it's like he can't not see him. And it's not even a hard pass. It's like he's literally 15 feet away from you. And it's like, and dude, I'm usually for taking the high percentage shot. I'd rather get layups and threes. But there are situations where it's like you drew three defenders, you're covered up. That got your teammates wide open. It's like a moral thing. You have to pass him the ball. He dropped down to the exact spot he's waiting. You know what I mean? Like, and those are the kind of and there was a couple that Malik took where it's just like it's just a bad shot. Like you're just falling away and doing weird stuff. And like I said, you just like to. I guess I would say I'm still concerned. And like I said, this team may end up being amazing, but I am still I'm on the cautious train now because while we have one really, really good shooter and other guys that can have good shooting nights and are decent shooters, it looks to me like now what teams are going to start to do is what they did last year, which is they're going to make us prove it from the 3-point line. And I think it's going to be harder this year, especially with Malik, but they're definitely going to go, you know, we're going to pack the middle and watch that guy, which won't always work. He's going to get some shots up. He's going to make 3-pointers every game. But I just, you know what I'm talking about, Dan, where there's a difference between bringing the ball up, passing it around the horn, and you're like, dang, we're kind of open. I guess I should shoot it. And you just start shooting threes. And because it's a low percentage shot, they're just not going in. And you see, you know, four of those doink off the rim in a row. And it's like, you're just not in good positions to rebound. They're long
yeah.
bounces. And it just gets you completely out of rhythm. And what we want to do is go downhill and we want to be physical and fast. And teams backing off and letting you shoot threes is like fool's gold. They're like baiting you into slowing your game down and not attacking and not putting pressure on the defense to guard you and trying to get to the free throw line. Thankfully, Cal mentioned that too. He's like, get to the free throw line, because that is what you got to do. You have to force the issue. But that being said, like, I'm nervous about that because in a game like this where you shoot, I would have liked to seen. I mean, in a perfect world, I would have liked to seen us shoot 70% in this game, because, and I mean that not from the 3 point line, because you're dominating them and getting dunks. You're
Yeah.
taking it down low, and it's like two guys are dropping off, and then Pringle's just throwing it up to the other big man, and it's just dunk. It's flushes. You know what I mean? And because what you saw in Michigan State is what's going to happen in the SEC, which is those. Sorry, my battery's a little bit low. Your legs are so much more fatigued.
Yeah.
In the, I mean, anybody that's worked out or done anything, like, like that moment where you're running down the court on offense, and you maybe make a layup on a break, and then you get back and you have to play a hard defense, and then you get a rebound, it gets slapped out, and you chase it. It's like, then you gotta, like, you need time, like 25 seconds to recover. Like, your legs, if you have that burst of 20 seconds of frenetic running, like, and that happens constantly in the SEC. So you're when the shot comes to you, there's just going to be way more times when the shot comes to you that you're just, and I don't mean at the end of a fight where you're whole fatigued and you're not recovering. I mean, you are temporarily fatigued, like you just did a set of squats and you need to sit down for a minute before you do your next set. Like, you catch the ball and you've just been playing defense on freaking, D1 athletes, not these guys from, no offense to Central Arkansas, but not these, lower level athletes. And so now you catch the ball, your percentage is going to go down. Those shots are going to get harder to make. And I'm worried about how productive everyone. I mean, and not that they're not going to be productive, but like I said, I think Acuff and all those guys, instead of being maybe 18 to 20 point averages, they're going to come down to 12 to 14 point averages, just based on how much harder you're having to play, how much more fatigue there is. And it really does affect your jump shooting. And that's why, well, the thing it doesn't affect is your dunking. I mean, that sounds silly because you still need your legs, but I'm saying layups, short, high percentage, short shots and the only way to get those against a good team is through process and teamwork and ball movement and cutting. You know what I mean? And you don't see a ton of that. And I would like to see, like, most of the points coming from the scheme.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, we got that from scheme. You know what I mean? And I just don't see that. It feels like it's like, hey, Wagner, Acuff, put on your Superman cape and drive around everybody and make something, or shoot a three. And I just think I'm nervous about how effective that's going to be in the SEC. I mean, I think they're going to figure it out, but I'm afraid, and I'm not making this prediction. I'm saying I can see a version of this where we have a couple of struggles, especially on the road against these SEC teams. And if this thing that I think we all want to happen in our heads, and when you see those first couple of games and how good these guys could be, you think, oh my gosh, what if we're like awesome? What if we're like just destroying everybody in the SEC? And now I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen. I think this is going to be another season of ups and downs. Or no, I'm not predicting that. I think it could be. I think I'm more open to the possibility that, like, this team's not going to right off the bat be a juggernaut. Which, like I said,
are you? I mean, do you think so? You're saying that you don't feel like we're ready for Duke yet on Thanksgiving?
I mean, Duke looks pretty good, dude. They look pretty tough. I hope I think they'll get up for that game. I think the neutral floor will help. I don't know. I mean, yeah, no. I mean, I wouldn't put money on it. I get my main thing is I think they're gonna have games that they play when everybody clicks and they play well, that they're gonna look pretty dang good. But I just see enough youth and immaturity there. And like I said, we talked about this last year. One of the issues is Wagner, and I know why Kentucky fans, I don't agree with them, like why they didn't like him, because Wagner brings a lot to the table, but it is subtle what he brings, and he doesn't bring the prototypical things that people like in a point guard, which is scoring and honestly even passing. he's not he's not like an amazing assist guy.
Yeah.
He's a facilitator and a great defender, and he's a very calming force.
It's very,
Um,
and that's not to say that he's selfish. He's very unselfish.
oh no, he's probably too unselfish.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
I
threw
mean,
he
like,
threw an alley he threw an alley oop behind him.
yeah, dude.
Like he's in front of the rim and he throws the ball behind
He
him.
might be
It was like
the only guy in the team that was going to do that, right?
yeah, that was like Jamie, our friend Jamie. He does it like you're next to me. He's got a layup, and then he passes it. And he's like, "Oh, you're like, oh, why'd you pass that to me?" Um, that's just for me and you, I guess. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know. Well, what we were talking about last year is, unfortunately, this team doesn't have somebody that is particularly uniquely high IQ basketball that you would like to have, that I would like to have. Honestly, Ewing might be the guy that like shows the most of it. And what I mean is like seeing the floor, but he just don't have. I mean, he's not in the right position, and he doesn't have the right motor right now. But
That you don't have those guys have a different motor than Ewing has.
but like Brazil, God bless him, like he's still. I mean, I said I thought,
You're
oh,
talking about Brazil's the one. Brazil didn't even play.
no, but what I'm saying is Brazil. I'm using him as an example.
And it might be, who knows? There's towel gate going on. Back spasms. Is it the towel? Did he throw his back out when he hit a fan with a towel? I don't know. But the towel thing that happened after the Michigan State game just like reinforced Jake's point. Like, dang it.
Yeah, no, it actually undercut my point that I said, oh, he's like
No, I'm saying
he's gotten rid of the hair dye, he's gotten rid of the nose ring. He looks like he's like here to bring his lunch pail and go to work. But the thing is, he's still a little bit of a knucklehead, and you saw that in his behavior after the game. But honestly, during the game too, I like Brazil, but like he's got a lot to offer, but I don't know if he'll ever be an amazing basketball player because there's an inquantifiable thing that separates people that like aren't as athletic or can't shoot as well that makes them successful, which is an intuition. It's like, I mean, it's like the difference between I've used this metaphor before, but like there's some people who can play piano. I mean, they call them savants or prodigies or whatever. It's like, and you can practice all you want and you will get very good at playing piano, but you'll never be as good as somebody who has their programming in their body and their brain was like just absolutely aligned to do this thing perfectly. And there are people that have just an intuition about basketball and they understand angles and exactly how to turn their body, where the ball is likely to be coming from.
Why don't you just say Jalen Williams if you're going to talk about him?
Well, yeah. I mean, he had some of that, but I'm just saying these are the guys that like they don't get back cut. Yeah. Because they're aware that like and I said it's not that they're consciously thinking about it, but they are constantly like, I know that guy's there and I know where the ball is and I know exactly where all the danger zones are. You know what I mean? And anyway, so we don't have, I'm not saying none of these guys have that. They have probably way more than I do. I'm just saying they don't show an exception, that we don't have anybody that's exceptional at that as a floor general. And we have a lot of guys that I think are not as high as I would like them to be. Like, honestly, like Billy, dude, I couldn't like Billy's like attitude and the way he plays any better. But dude, he's getting like back cut like a high school player. And I'm like, and you look at it and you're like, how did that, like, why was your body in that position? That guy's standing right there. I could have back cut you on that. You know what I mean? And like the way that you positioned yourself on that defensive play made it where it was like, oh, I guess I'm gonna go over here and someone will pass me the ball and get a layup.
And none of that stuff has anything to do with like individual effort either. Cause like you guard this guy, it seems like they're all like very willing to do that. Like, I mean, certainly Billy is. I mean, but Malik, Acuff, I mean, obviously Wagner, like it's not an effort thing. It's like hey, I didn't do the right thing. I didn't drop into the right spot or whatever. And it's like not because you're unwilling to, but you just like didn't because like you didn't make that decision, right? Like I know about like I know the difference between like because I mean you've seen them or I've played with them. like lazy defenders. I actually don't think we have any of those. They're just not the team defense isn't exactly moving as like one unit.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, dude, it's funny because you start talking about these things, but when you really break down what's happening out there, I mean, it's so amazing how, because when you're talking about these guys moving that fast, I mean, it's unbelievable that the human body and brain can do what it does. And the subtleties of releasing a basketball, I mean, as you've just dribbled through guys and there's someone pushing on you, and to all the mechanics that happen subconsciously to allow you to put soft touch and spin it just right. It's unbelievable. But in basketball at that level, on defense and offense, it's jazz. You know what I mean? Like if you're thinking you're losing, like it has to be instinct. I mean, obviously it's too fast. You couldn't think about that if
Yeah,
you couldn't do it if you wanted to. And so it's a little bit like, you could be a great studio drummer. And I mean, you could be the best studio drummer in the world. And it's like put you with a band and it's like, do you have this other
yeah.
thing where you can improvise on the fly with a group of people and make it all work together? And I think and I'm not saying we're like bad at that. I'm saying I see that as it's a weird flaw that's like very difficult to recognize. Not a flaw. It's that we're low. We're not as high as I'd like to be. We're like in the middle range at that. And I think that's the thing that nobody talks about or thinks about, where you're like, why is this team so much better than other teams, or how do they keep winning? It's like, dude, when you're in close games, one good defensive positioning and like it's just not getting back cut, not giving up easy buckets like that. I mean, you're going to be in a bunch of one possession games, and it
Yeah.
is the difference between winning and losing a lot of games. And I just see that we're going to give up some, like every game. I feel like you're going to see us on something that is completely avoidable, give up half a dozen to 10 points on.
I think the one thing about that though is that that is something that, especially like if you have a new group of guys and stuff, that is something you can get better at too. Like you can improve the more you play with a certain group, right? Like so they what it I mean what it is now is not the way it has to be in February. Like that's certainly true.
Yeah, no, they'll get better at understanding each other and like being more conditioned as a team. But I do think, like I said, like it's the savant thing. I just don't think we have any savants of that particular talent. Maybe Acuff could be because he's so young. It's hard. It's hard to know. But even he seems like he more wants to be a studio drummer. He likes, you know what I mean, doing his own thing. More. I'm not saying not completely. I don't think he's selfish. I just think these guys, you can tell when they get the ball in their hands. We got, I mean, whether it's Knox or uh, Acuff or Malik, they all want to put that in the hole so bad,
Yeah.
and they're so capable of it that you can see them be like, oh, but I mean, I could shoot this, and I've made this shot a lot, and it's like, yeah, but that's not what we're doing here. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you could, but on average, you're going to make that shot at 23%. And I
Yeah.
know that feels like a lot when you're playing street ball and the misses don't matter. But like now, we need really high percentage shots most of the time. And
Yeah.
then once in a while, the play falls apart and the shot clock's winding down. Make it happen. But like it's time and place. Anyway, I'm not trying to be purposely negative, and I, like I said, I think this team has a lot of upside, and hopefully Cal can coach him up. But I am concerned that it could be a work in progress. This might be a little bit more. I don't think it's going to be like last year, because last year, I mean,
No.
just nobody could shoot for the. I mean, if it's like last year, I'm going to be really upset because like nobody could shoot for the first 12 games for some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
No,
our
I don't I'm
percentages
not
were.
I don't expect us to start 0-5 in the SEC or anything like that. No.
No, but I'm saying I think it could be a little bit more of a, you know, 2 wins, 1 loss, one
Yeah.
win, 2 losses, like, and you might find yourself, instead of like the hope where you're hoping like, is this Cal's 32-0 team? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't think it is. I mean, and I'm not saying everybody thought that, but I'm saying everybody's hoping that at the beginning. And I'm just trying to prepare myself for this is going to be a little bit more of a struggle than and a learning process. And hopefully they work it out by the end of the year. But we'll see. I mean, they got a couple of more warm ups.
Yeah.
And Brazil, I mean, in my opinion, I think there's no back spasms. Like that's disciplinary. And I heard some people being like, well, why wouldn't they just say it's disciplinary? Why would you discipline someone and not make a point? I'm like, that's Cal trying to not
It's
embarrass.
players coach, baby. That's a
Yeah,
players
that's
coach.
him trying to not embarrass him and be like, hey, on your team and from me, you can't do that and you're getting punished. But I'm not going to spank you in front of everybody, even though everybody knows it. I'm going to give you this plausible thing. We're going to put a heating pad in your back, and you don't have to let everybody know that you're getting a spanking. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even that weird. It's like
Well,
you
and,
don't.
and they already said he is going to play in the next game, and you're like, how would you know that? If his back spasms aren't better, right?
Yeah, and like I said, and I see both sides. I mean, if you're the kind of coach that's just like more of a hard ass, and you're just like, yeah, he's sitting because f him, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like you can't behave like that. That's a certain style, and I actually even respect that style. But I respect what Cal's doing too. You know, it's like I don't know, they're not children, but it's like some parents want to use the skeptical or shaming eyes of the other people around to take your kid and be like, you know what you did, and look at all these people, they know what you did, and other parents think that's humiliating, and you want to take them very quietly alone and just teach them by yourself, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
anyway,
that's your opinion. Your opinion is,
I think it was disciplinary for sure.
yeah, which I don't have a problem with either. Like, don't do that.
No, and I actually think that would have changed the game a little bit. I mean, Brazil, that's a game where Brazil would have ate. like
Yeah,
like
dude.
Brazil's going to struggle against really fast physical teams in the SEC a little bit, but he'd have ate those guys up. I mean, he would have
Yeah.
been a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So,
Uh, yeah, player of the game since, it's
I mean,
Carter
I guess
Knox.
it's Acuff.
It's not Carter Knox. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. 19 points, 10 rebounds.
Yeah, I'll give him it for the 10 rebounds. Although, I mean, like I said, Acuff's numbers were low key good, and he rebounded okay. He didn't have a ton of assists, but
Dude, how
there
about
were.
dude? Also, like Malik Thomas. I mean, Malik Thomas has 17 points. Like, it's 6 rebounds again. Andy had 6 assists and 0 turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
This
It's funny.
he
The
he does
assists were
he
pretty.
does he does just like weird do this weird like I mean he played good or whatever, but like his stat line every game, you're like, oh, rebounds and assists too, like and like it's always like 6 of them, 6, 7 of them, Oh, I just
Mhm.
did 6, 7, yeah, 6 or 7 of those things, and yeah, you're like, oh, all right. I mean, you can't be
Yeah,
that
you
selfish. You
know
don't.
that the
How do
six
you get?
seven thing is dead if you're when you hear it
If I
saying.
catch myself doing it,
Yeah,
um,
it's like, I mean, it's funny because even when people like us old people start to acknowledge, even if you're ironically acknowledging it like skibbity or whatever,
yeah,
that means it's over.
yeah, for sure. But I mean, but
I'm sure the kids are
much.
saying something different and they're
Yeah.
already like, these stupid 40-year-old boomers that
Mhm.
now are acknowledging and even know what that is. We're already on
I still,
to Muka Muka Boo
I,
Boo.
I don't know what that is, but much like you don't get 6 rebounds on accident, like he gets a lot of assists too, oddly enough, and you don't get those on accident either. Like, and so on one hand, Malik, you're like, bro, you never saw a shot that you didn't like, but also I mean, yeah, you led the team in assists. So I mean, I don't even know. I don't know how. What can I say? I don't know what to say about that.
No, I mean, I thought, like I said, they all played okay. You just would have like maybe liked to have seen them just have their way from the beginning, because, like I
Yeah,
said, it was like a what 6 point game at halftime or something like that, and it was a little bit like, guys, come on.
it was.
So
It was. I don't think it was 6, but yeah, it
it was
was
under
not.
10, right?
I don't know. I don't remember exactly what it was, but um, yeah, it was. Maybe that's part of it. Is maybe it just like took longer to get there. Yeah, I mean, again,
Well, and
the
it
score
took
is
longer
always
to get there, but they
the
also didn't
score.
play that well.
Yeah,
They didn't play that well the first half. I mean, they were shooting below 50%,
yeah,
and most of the stuff that was annoying was in the first half. They
yeah,
played better in the second half.
yeah. Because it was 0-0. That's how games start, and I always say that against these bad teams. Like, hey, it doesn't happen in 5 minutes. You're not up 30. But it did seem like it probably took longer to get up 25 than it should have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to see if I could see,
But
but the stat line didn't say the
yeah.
halftime score.
No.
All right, dude. Well,
All
my
right.
thing's about to die
Yep.
and need to go to work. So,
We'll leave it there. All right, man. Have a good one.
all right. See you guys.